I had been in a coma for 12 years, gone. When I opened my eyes, the ceiling wasn't the same one I remembered. The last thing I recalled was rain hitting my car windshield in 2013, and the next thing, a nurse whispering, "Mr. Hale, can you hear me?" My hands felt like paper, my voice was dust. But the moment I asked, "Where's my wife?" the nurse froze for a second too long. My wife, Margaret, walked in later that evening, looking like a ghost of the woman I knew, older, thinner, dressed in expensive clothes I'd never seen. She cried when she saw me, but her tears felt rehearsed. "My God, James, we thought you'd never wake up." Behind her stood my son Daniel, the boy who used to beg me for bedtime stories. Now he was 35, wearing my late father's watch, and a face that wouldn't meet mine. It wasn't joy I saw in their eyes, it was fear. Weeks passed as I regained strength. Margaret rarely visited. Daniel came only when cameras were around. One afternoon, a young nurse mentioned casually, "Your wife must be so proud to manage all your companies alone." "Companies?" I croaked. Apparently, while I lay in that hospital bed, my wife had legally transferred my assets, our family home, my business shares, everything, into her name for management. 2 years later, she declared me mentally unfit to handle finances. I asked to see the papers. She smiled and said, "You should focus on recovery, darling, not the past." That's when I realized I was alive, but I'd been erased. When I was finally discharged, I expected to go home. Instead, Margaret said the house was being renovated. She placed me in a quiet suburban villa with 2 hired caretakers, people I had never met. But I wasn't as weak as they thought. Late one night, I used the caretaker's phone and searched my own name. That's when I saw it, an online article. "Businessman James Hale's empire saved by wife's leadership after tragic coma." There were pictures of Margaret standing beside another man, sleek, smiling, hand on her waist. Victor Cross, CEO of the very company I'd founded. And beside them stood Daniel, shaking hands with him, my son. I called Daniel the next morning. "Why didn't you tell me your mother remarried?" He hesitated. "Dad, she needed someone. You were gone. Victor helped us. You should thank him." "Thank him? For stealing my life?" He sighed. "You don't understand, Dad. You'd have done the same." Then he hung up. I stared at my trembling hand. The son I had built everything for now stood beside the man who'd taken it all. For months, I played the role of the harmless old man. Pretended I was fragile, confused. But I listened, learned. Victor had merged my company under his own name. But the patents, the blueprints, and a few offshore accounts were still in mine. Locked, forgotten. I had time, patience, and rage. All the ingredients karma loves. I hired a young lawyer, Sarah, the daughter of my old friend. Quietly, she worked to reopen my case. Together, we found forged medical documents declaring me permanently unresponsive. Signed by a doctor who died 5 years ago. Forgery, fraud, corporate theft. We had everything. The night before the hearing, Margaret came to see me. Her perfume was the same, but her eyes were colder than marble. "You can't win this, James," she whispered. "You're just a broken man clinging to a past that's gone." I smiled. "Then you shouldn't have left your signature all over it." The next morning, the courtroom buzzed. My lawyer presented the forged papers. Daniel avoided my gaze. Victor's confident smile cracked as the judge demanded explanations. When the verdict came, it was silent except for the sound of my heartbeat. The properties, the shares, all returned to my name. Victor's company collapsed in a week. As for Margaret, she walked out without a word. Daniel didn't follow her. Months later, Daniel came to see me. He looked older. Guilt does that to a man. "Dad," he said quietly, "I was wrong. I thought you'd never wake up. I thought Mom knew best." I nodded. "You wanted a father who provided. You forgot the one who built." He cried then. The kind of cry that doesn't ask for forgiveness, only understanding. I placed my hand on his shoulder. "We start again," I said. "But this time, I walk. I still limp from the years of muscle loss. Every step hurts, but it's mine. I walk through the company halls now, not as the man who came back from a coma, but as the one who returned from betrayal. And when I pass the mirror, I don't see a broken old man. I see 12 years of silence turned into power. Because sometimes, the world thinks you're gone, and that's the perfect time to wake up.